What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 68. 2 away from 70, hard to believe, but episode 68. Tonight's episode is going to be about the topic of open-mindedness. We're going to go through some benefits of being open-minded. And speaking of being open-minded tonight, George, we're going to be talking about cancel culture, the cancel culture controversy. Particularly, there is something kind of going on right now. We'll dive a little bit into it, which was kind of what piqued our interest to kind of talk about this tonight. We'll dive a little bit into that, but we're just going to talk about cancel culture controversy in general. As you know, cancel culture is big in today's day and age, unfortunately. All the stuff that's kind of going on, especially with social media and everything. But we're excited to be back with you guys. Like we said, episode 68. As you already know, we're your host for the evening. I'm Steve Ushler. And on the other side is the other main man of the hour. What's up, boss?
What up, dude? What up, Boss Hog? This is G-Mac in a place to be, bro. G-Money or George Mechai. I'm happy to be here, bro. And it's going to be quite a show, man. Let's get this show underway, shall we?
Yeah, let's get the wheels going. We're gonna play a quick intro, but man, I just want to also say, you were away a little bit for the weekend, right, man? And, you're back in the area after a little bit of a trip.
Yeah, bro. So for those that may not know, some of the viewers that watch us daily, some know, some don't know. I was in Florida. I did post a lot about it, so a few people probably already figured it out. And I just got back actually Tuesday, in the morning or afternoon, early afternoon, I should say. I was in not Tampa. I was in Fort Lauderdale, a little bit of Hollywood, Florida, and mostly Boca Raton. And I went for business for like the weekend, like late in the weekend. I was there Sunday to early Tuesday, and it was great, bro. As you might imagine, Florida was good. We'll talk about them more in depth a little later as well as we go in the podcast. But I actually went there for a podcast, so there's a lot to talk about. Definitely going to be getting to that as well a little bit.
Definitely.
What's up, Bryce?
What's going on, Bryce? All right, so we're gonna dive into it. We'll just play our intro real quick. We'll kind of cut it a little bit short on the intro just because we are a little bit late on time, unfortunately. But we'll continue the show at the full hour no matter what. So although we started a little bit late, we'll go the full hour. I'm gonna play the intro real quick, and then George, we can hop into it.
Sounds good to me, bro. Let's do it. Play this intro. Here we go.
All right, guys, as we said, welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 68. Back in the building tonight, and the topics will be the topic of open-mindedness and the cancel culture controversy that we face in society today. All right, so we are almost at episode 70, so stay tuned. We're going to have something big for that, but without further ado, why don't we just hop into it, man? So speaking of open-mindedness, man, what where would you kind of rather start tonight, man? You want to start on the cancel culture side, or you want to start on the open-minded side? Because either
What don't
way, we
we?
don't really have to touch on one to transition into the other,
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's right. Why don't we like kind of like start slow, bro, and we kind of progress. I mean, more people be watching. Last week it seemed like a lot of people start kind of watching towards the end, like when towards the end I had to go. That's cool though. Let's talk about open mindedness a little bit. Channel, like open mindedness could be. I mean, honestly, this doesn't have nothing to do with being, necessarily cancel culture because you can be open minded about your job, about life, but it ties into again to corporate world, to censorship. Because I mean, that is kind of Also, we'll talk about censorship, but that's actually no a whole other episode. We'll touch a little base today, and we'll talk about the back of the Joe Rogan thing, but we'll get into it a little later. But let's talk about again open mindedness, and yeah, we can start with that kind of, and we can talk about just in general, man. I mean, open mindedness. I mean, it could just be something that we live by every day. Like for example, you do something the same way. Sometimes you gotta be open minded and try doing new things. You know what I mean? Like go to a different store. If you go to the same type of stores or store the same one exactly, maybe the same store it's a little bit farther from you. That's the same like a Walmart or something, but you can go somewhere else or a Kmart or something like that. Uh, about cars, for example, or even about clothes. If you wear the same type of suits and nice these suits, that's cool. But maybe you can wear something that's a slightly different design because you might not think it's as good, but you can get a great design suit and you're wearing it and it looks good on you. It looks sharp. So you're like, okay, well, I just saw it's a different brand, and I'm going to start using this brand because I like it. 'Cause I used to always wear like Louis Vuitton or whatever, or I used to wear the same type, some kind of Italian suits, but now I got some stuff that comes straight from Milan or straight from like the very top notch suits in the world. I actually met a couple designers when I was out there, and I met some executives. So I plan to talk about that a little later and mention some stuff because we may very well have one of those guys on the podcast, but there's a thing, there's a list of things that needs to be done and a list of people that probably will come. So, when I was out there, I was able to kind of, network with some people and set some stuff up. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. I think just being open minded is just very important. There's obviously tons and tons of benefits. I'll talk about some of them. I mean, there are just a ton. The list can go on, but you're right. Open mindedness can be from anything. It can be from the clothes you wear. It can be from where you shop, how you reinvent your style, like where you travel. And I think like the most important part is like being able to, you know what I mean, try to see where other people are coming from. When you have such a clouded view of the world, and you have very very narrow views, I think it honestly creates more stress for you. Just understanding, I would say, trying to just stay open minded and trying to just understand where other people's views are coming from. You're going to be genuinely more happy, and the reason why is the less unsure you are about the world, the more you know, the happier you're ultimately going to be, in my opinion. Learning, experiencing new realms, understanding, realms of understanding. It's just so freeing, right? It's enjoyable to be able to expand your horizons. So just think peace and friendship and acceptance. That acceptance, open mindedness will definitely bring you happiness. When you're not barred by the walls in your mind, if you're not clouding your entire world with a narrow view, you're just going to be genuinely happier. I think you can probably agree with that. You'll be more happy if you can just stay open minded.
I think
It's
I think
a
so, bro.
narrow minded view of the world is just not. It just restricts you, right? Like it's going to cause more stress for you because you're judgmental. You have a narrow view. It's creating unnecessary stress, in my
It's
opinion.
creating unnecessary barriers, and it's almost like you're creating, like you said, bro, stress. But it's almost like you're. Think about it this way: if you live a controlled life, somebody controls you. Whether it's your parents or those older than you, or your significant other, whatever. But you're also closed-minded. It's like you'll never see the world for what it is, and for the world to be watching. There's probably an infinite number of views to look at the world of things. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you really want to dive deep and take a look at this, so when it comes to that, you know what I'm saying, to like the open-mindedness, you really gotta try to focus and watch from different lenses, like watch it from other people's point of view. Try to be a little bit more open-minded, understanding, and that's just one tip of iceberg. But there's lot more, a lot more to it. Being understanding and seeing it from other people's point of view and relating to people that might not be as fortunate as you. It's one way of open-mindedness. One, just one spectrum. There's much more to it. Open-mindedness is all about change. We talked about change in the past. We had some good shows that we talked about change, and yeah, like basically, you just gotta like kind of like continue with what you've been doing, but also learn new things and know that like sometimes it's not about waiting for the right moment. It comes to you. Keep open mind, keep possibilities, keep something in the back burner. Create your own destiny. Start on business. Starting a business and not working 9 to 5 could be open mindedness. Some people will never be able to do that. They always think that like just to get a job and you work hard, you bust your ass, make some money, you retire, and that's it. That can't be. Something's missing. It's got to be a little more than just that. There's different ways to
Yeah,
look at the world.
I really like how you brought that up with the experience and new things. That's one of the biggest benefits of being open minded. You get to experience new things. What what type of life are you realistically living if everything is just monotonous? It's the same boring routine. You're if you have such a narrow view on the world, it is everything's predictable. You already know what you view, and you're like, I don't care what you think. Like, it's not a way to live. You can experience new things. It's from everything, from where you shop, traveling. Like, say you travel and you go to the same spot every single year, and you're like, no, this is the only spot I want to travel to. The whole world is a whole big realm of possibilities. I know that's cliche to say, but it really is. You
Yeah,
know, if you don't open your mind, you're not going to be trying new things. There's no sense of adventure. Open mindedness comes from everything. It comes from like just petty things like where you go, what you do. It comes to relationships. To be honest, I wouldn't want to be with somebody who's not open minded. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's when you're open minded, like it honestly allows you to see something through another scope. Like, if who wants to be with somebody who like is stuck in their ways? You know what I mean? Who like only believes one thing. There's just so many. Everybody you're gonna meet in life, come from different backgrounds. You know what I mean? Everybody has a story. Everybody sees something through a different lens.
yeah,
So
I would say so. Everybody has their own little story or something you can learn. You can probably learn from people that you never thought you could learn, bro. Honestly, bro. I mean, this whole trip, I think I told you earlier, we spoke on the phone. I told somebody else that it really opened my mind to a lot of things, and I need to do more. I just can't be stuck with one thing. You know what I mean?
agreed. And when you travel, I feel like you do kind of. You usually come back with a sense of like humbleness and like open mindedness, and you see different perspectives. When you go somewhere else, you always see another culture, right? So I mean, like when you
Right.
travel is a great way to open up your mind. To
Yeah.
try new things, to see new things. That's why I always preach about travel. Traveling is so important. If you can afford it and you have the time to do it, traveling is important. I think confidence comes with being open minded as well. So, open minded people, I usually feel most people that I know that are open minded, they're very confident in who they are. They're confident in themselves. They're very, very centered. And they shed off, and that's because they shed off judgment, stress, and they tackle the world ultimately, not a cliche, but by the horns. They feel comfortable in their own body. They're comfortable with others because, there's, what I mean? They're open to everybody's, perspectives and just seeing what other people, seeing how other people view the world. Being open minded, ultimately, it makes it easier to feel less judged when you stop judging people yourself.
Yeah.
So, I usually notice the most stressed people are the people that view the world in a very, very narrow view. So, guys, open mindedness will help you de-stress. You'll be less stressed. You'll be more confident. A couple of the benefits: you'll be happier. And anytime, like George, I know you're a pretty open-minded person. You would say, like, when you don't view people through a narrow scope, you would probably say you're definitely happier and more confident in yourself, right? Because you're more accepting. You can understand where someone's coming from. You don't hold that like unnecessary stress over top of yourself.
Yeah, bro.
Would
I
you
would
agree
say
with that?
so, man. It's kind of like okay. Sorry, I just got a. That was actually an email for regarding podcast. Somebody watched the podcast. It was just emailing me. It's up there at work. It's all good though. That's the thing. You can watch it anytime, man. That's the beautiful thing about this. You don't got to see it live, but you can always catch it later. If you are live, that's cool too. You can interact.
Yeah.
Back to the question. No, yeah, dude, I definitely feel you, man. If you're kind of like more of a person that accepts more things, you definitely, in the long run, you feel like there's more accomplishment. You feel better with yourself. You feel like you have, it's kind of like being cool with other people that are worth being cool with, and you can learn from them and it can help you, as opposed to just being judgmental and not giving somebody a chance or something or someone. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be someone. It could be something. Like, like a movie watching. Oh, that movie's corny, but you only saw the first 5 minutes. You don't know how corny it is. You might watch it again and be like, oh, no, the movie was good actually. I actually liked it. Never mind, change my mind. You change your mind. It's subconsciously we're not always attracted to everything, and sometimes it's like the body, it's like your mind, will by default kind of like give you restrictions and kind of like create these things like, oh, it's not how things, because what you heard, what you been taught. Sometimes you got to unlearn things, and it can be hard. It can be a little process, but it's always good to, again, keep open mind and always kind of remember, think, for example, like what would like somebody you might hold really dear do, do they see things like that way? You can think for yourself, but also try not to just see one thing. At least give something a chance, hear the story, read the article. Don't just judge a book by its cover. Don't just judge an article by seeing, oh, it says this. Joe Rogan canceled. Joe Rogan says mask stupid. What? Joe Rogan says makes us stupid. He never said they're stupid. Maybe somebody that could have been, invited or somebody on an online article or forum might have said that, well, I don't think masks work. And then, somebody repeated that and it was included on a podcast show. See, that's the thing, bro. It starts with this, really. It starts with small things like this. People are so close-minded when they see an article, they see a headline. Headlines are only there to create propaganda and tricks. That's really what they're there for. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's what they're there for. A lot of headlines just right away is like, boom. They don't give you a chance. I like to see good headlines. That bullshit ass, how do you call it? Biased headlines, trick headlines. Now we have clickbait too. But clickbait is not a new concept. It's just like it's called clickbait because now it's on YouTube and it's a newer concept in the last like 10, 15 years, maybe I want to say. Because YouTube's only been around for 17 years. It started like in middle of 2005, really. It wasn't really around before that. And the 2000s brought a lot of this stuff to us, the social media platforms and all these platforms and channels and, devices or ways to do this. And then everything's got like a smaller link or channel to it. And the streaming world is leaps and bounds, bro. The podcast we did with my man Bob Carson, who hopefully I think he's watching. He's been on the show before. I went to Florida with him and Meg Renan. We're talking about a lot, and we'll get into this a little later. But we talked about kind of being open-minded, about people that have power, don't want to be open-minded. They can shut you down right away. They can see these conversations, interview, or these podcasts, be like, "Yo, I don't like these guys. And there's stuff that I don't want them to hear. We want to keep the world how it is, closed in, uptight. Nothing's really confidential. We need to know, everything. If they see something that we don't like or expose information we don't want people to know. They can shut the site down and all that. And that doesn't help with being open-minded. But it's also competition. Those that can run things. If they see something that views a thread, they can shut it down. Whether it's a podcast, a show, a website. I mean, everything's controlled by the corporations. I mean, just the whole internet. Yeah. And again, this is not about censorship, but it kind of ties into that. We'll actually do a episode more on censorship probably, and this is kind of like we'll tie into this one. So we can, if you guys, if the guys want it there and you want to do it like a part 2, because this is also a very open discussion. It can't be really just one episode on open-mindedness. I mean, honestly, especially if we're talking about censorship and cancel culture, which we will, and that's what we're kind of getting to. But yeah, we could kind of keep it how it is, but or we could do another episode on this down the line. We probably will. But like I said, being open-minded, man, it's definitely more of a benefit than something where it could cost you and all that. But of course, being open-minded, you can also be considered, especially in this day and age, or how things are going. Everybody wants you to think how they think, and it's a standard, and society is very judgmental. Open-mindedness gets you in trouble too, though. Being open-minded sometimes you could struggle. You could what's it called? Like you can run upon some obstacles.
You can get canceled.
You get canceled. Canceled. Yo, did you like what I did, by the way? I know people are wondering why I chose that song for some of the promo for a podcast, which I did not long ago, maybe less than an hour ago. I chose Eminem. Yeah. You know why? Because Eminem was one of the first artists they want to cancel. They want to cancel Tupac, rest in peace, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem. Remember this too? Back in the days, say 3, 4, 6, 8. Eminem is full of hate. Remember that bullshit?
I do remember. Why did they want to cancel Eminem again? It was because of the stuff with Kim, right? The song and all that. Was that
Kim,
one
with
of
his wife Kim, and because he made songs about, I guess, hang on.
Some of the crazy stuff that Eminem dropped.
I hate this headphones. There we go. Much better. It was because of the song he had, and because he was it's almost like he's instigating, like, by saying what he wants to say and make songs like that. He was instigating people, feeling like, oh, it's too violent, so violent or whatever, which is not necessarily true. It's just a song might be violent. He never, necessarily said that. But Eminem has been one of the kings of controversy. He used to label himself that back in the day. So if you want to talk about cancel culture, we got to mention Eminem. And I used that song, although I was gonna do The Way I Am, because that's the song that really got him in a lot of trouble too back in the day. Like, remember they came out when he's getting protested against, and there was like all Rodgers and Eminem and all that. Like, Eminem is one of the few artists and one of the first artists that people really want to cancel, like, with a passion. Like, they got together, and it was a lot of groups because of it was groups of and this is, you have to realize, this is before the LBTGQ, right? But it was what's it called? It was people that didn't like his lyrics, basically. That's what it was, if you remember. I mean, I know you're a little younger than me, but back in the day, there was like 2000, 2002 around that time. He was getting.
Oh yeah,
like,
I used to. I listened to Eminem as a little kid, man. As much as maybe I shouldn't have been, but I remember one of my first CDs was.
We were definitely young and too young to listen to him because he says parental advisory. But yeah, we were listening to it. Let's be real. Everybody heard of him.
We were listening to it anyway.
Yeah. What you said? What you said? One of the CDs? Which one was it?
D12 World.
Oh yeah, that came out when the controversy is going on. Yeah, I remember that. I actually have this somewhere. I got D12 World, and I also have one. I believe it's called Devil's Night. Yeah, Devil's Night, the first one. Pills. That's when they made the video. See, this is an inside story, real quick, which ties into crystal culture. They made a song called Fight Music, and they used the theme from the movie The Warriors, because it's a cult classic. Those that ever watch The Warriors. I actually want to watch it right now.
Yeah,
but so it's a good movie, right? Definitely a cult classic, and it's one of the best ever. I mean, huge in, Marius just hit this up. Stop, Marius. But yeah, so it was a big movie, and they used that video, and they want to do like a scene where they're talking about something about like 9/11 and Fight Music, but just to make the video was hard because at the time 9/11 just happened, so they didn't like the fact they're saying Fight Music and making again violent culture just because 9/11 happened. They had something going on in the song. They mentioned anthrax at the time. There was anthrax being mailed to like the White House and to stuff like that. So there was a kind of poison. Remember anthrax? So it was like so much going on. And Eminem explained that. They actually explained how when it came back to the States, they were away when that happened. It was Eminem and Proof from D12 and a few other rappers that were Eminem. Rest in peace to Proof. And I think there was something like they kissed the ground when they came back to the States because they were like in Paris. And this is literally right post 9/11. So I mean, yeah, you could probably understand what's going on. That's one time when rappers really, it was too much to talk about buildings getting destroyed, making plane sounds, knocking down buildings like Snoop and them did in a video, New York, way back in the day, which helped start the East Coast, West Coast beef. Speaking of cancel culture, I know there's controversy in rap and all that. But I feel like rap has always been part of it's always been right there on edge, in danger of cancel culture. Because, even back in the day, women didn't like, when rappers were, dropping certain words and all that. Remember, like back in the day, they were protesting a Snoop Dogg when he was called Snoop Doggy Dogg. So it's always been people trying, rile you, but cancel culture's got more popular, so to speak, and it's become more of a thing in I would say the last 10, 12 years, maybe, I'm going to say.
Yeah, it definitely has been, especially with the rise of social media. Everybody everybody wants to cancel anybody. I feel like we've just, we might get some heat for this, but I honestly just feel like we've become very, very sensitive.
We have
as a culture, specifically, maybe starting with us as millennials and then down to the Gen Z, very, very sensitive. Some sensitivity is good, but oversensitivity, honestly, it just kind of makes us. I mean, what's the word? Soft. I would say, what
soft.
I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right though, but it's soft. It's people I don't know how to say it, but
people are not I would say mentally strong. You know what I mean? Like people just
they don't got that stomach for it, or like the mind. Okay, it's just a movie, but let's just they get offended too easy, right? It's just way too, and they shouldn't be offended about everything.
People take songs the wrong way, lyrics the wrong. Like at the end of the day, a lot of it is entertainment, and I get that people want. I get that people want to say that, it's like the people that used to blame video games for violence. Video games aren't what actually cause violence. Yeah, they see, kids will see what's going on in the video game.
Yeah, not all the way, but
a lot of that type of stuff kind of starts in the home, in my personal opinion. How are the kids being raised? Number one, what type of relationship is going on at home? Maybe they got a mental disorder as well. It's not. Most people are not just going to look at a video game. I'm just using video games as an example. But that was always something was said, when you're a kid, to be like, oh, your kid.
Yeah.
It's playing Grand Theft Auto. Your kid's going to go out and shooting up this.
A shooting spree.
Video
crazy,
games
bro.
Aren't what cause violence, or music lyrics don't cause violence. Like a lot of times, people, especially people who are like you can honestly discern what is what. You honestly understand that, video games are not reality. They're, you know what I mean? Like, people just try to blame other things. And that's the thing, like, people will blame like things like music, right? Or like, but this was one of the things I had seen. Like, people were saying, what were they blaming? They were blaming like songs like what was it, Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, right? They were blaming like the song WAP. They're like, oh, this is gonna be terrible for
Cardi
our kids.
B,
Well, just don't
Cardi
let your
B and
kids listen to
not Nicki Minaj,
it.
Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah.
No, not Nicki Minaj. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Yeah. And they were like, this is terrible for our kids. It's like, to be honest,
and it is and it's not though. It depends on the context. Who's listening to it? Are kids listening to it right now, or is adults?
Right, as adults, right? Like, it depends on what age they are. Like, yeah, they shouldn't be listening to it if they're a certain age. Like, and I know that it can be hard, with all technology and everything, but you got to be a parent. At the end of the day, I feel like people like to blame. They like to blame society for like, oh, they're like, oh, why did they release that song? Why did they release this? But at the end of the day, you know what they like to do? They like to kind of make excuses for why they're not being a good parent. Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's true.
But that isn't adults as well sometimes like to use a fallback. Like, they'll say, oh, that's why I'm doing this. Like, they'll try to blame. They always like to play the blame game instead of taking accountability, responsibility for their own actions. Oh, I saw this in a movie and they had to do that. It's like, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own actions. You know that what you're seeing is entertainment, especially when you're an adult. You know what you're seeing is entertainment, and people just don't like to take accountability.
Well, people love to make excuses, bro. That's the whole other topic. I mean, we can sit here for hours. But it comes down to people.
He said we are sensitive. We are very sensitive, and it is sad. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, that's a thing. Like, cancel culture, it's a narrow-minded view, right? Because you'd rather cancel somebody and be sensitive, and know if they don't agree with how you see something, like, then they're not correct. And that's the complete opposite of open-mindedness.
Yeah, that's it. I'm glad you said that. This guy's stars, bro. You could disagree and still know that wrong, but they feel like they got to be right, and anything you say is against them, they're like, I don't disagree. They disagree strongly, and they get triggered, and it's a whole. Honestly, you could do a whole study. Like, we could probably contact the college professor, do studies on this, like forensic studies, evidence, and bring all the facts to be like, okay, people that go back to the media, you don't accept the truth, are in fact, sometimes wrong. They get triggered. They are, part of cancel culture. Because, I mean, if you break it down, what is cancel culture? People online on their phones saying, talking shit about you or saying, no, that's wrong. They try to cancel Eminem, Dave Chappelle, The Baby. They try to cancel, 50 Cent. Obviously, he's a controversial guy. Back in the day, trying to cancel certain rock and rollers. They try to cancel NWA. Remember NWA? The first group that really, to bring some hardcore. Well, not the first really group, but one of the first, which Dr. Dre was a part of. And eventually, he discovered Eminem. They always want to cancel stuff because it goes against, but that's why they have the laws, bro. Parental advisory. Also, if we're going to talk about this, how about we mention real quick, take our time on this. If we're going to talk about cancel culture and rappers saying this and people getting upset, even a lot of, groups of younger people, groups in college don't like certain product, maybe, or certain artists, women groups, other groups out there, like the, everything from different movements to, everything that's going on right now. How about Uncle Luke? Shout out to Uncle Luke. He's the first rapper that actually did it where rappers can say what they want to say without being really restricted. And again, it's got to do with censorship, but we'll mention that. And he's right here at the bottom. He's usually parental control right here at the bottom. Uncle Luke, for those who don't know, he had the song that, oh, me so horny. Remember the song? And it was like, they basically made like Miami kind of like a strip club rap, or they were some of the first to really incorporate a lot of sexual content in lyrics. Uncle Luke. And there's a song I believe it's at the very end of Dre Day when Snoop Dogg says, Easy can eat a big fat dick. He says, Uncle Luke can eat a big fat dick. Remember that? They're dissing Uncle Luke, but they squashed the beef now. But Uncle Luke was the first rappers that made it where rappers could talk about sexualizing things and all that without necessarily getting in trouble or getting canceled, you know what I mean? Or they shouldn't be canceled because this is by law. Again, parental advisory. You don't want to hear that? Don't. An adult got to be with the kid. That's why I don't know if you ever tried. I tried by CD when I was real young, and I remember you couldn't really do it at the time. You had to be accompanied by your brother or older brother or sister or your parents, because if you were under a certain age, you couldn't buy it. I think it was like, like parental advisory at the bottom of CD covers.
Under like 17, yeah, you couldn't buy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with rated M for mature video games and stuff like that. Like the only way they can get it is a parent.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck is it? Right there.
Yeah, parental advisory.
CD.
Exactly.
It's an old mouse classic CD, but I have to show real quick.
I see Shakira commented, and she said that's true. It depends on how you raise your kids. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Shakira.
I mean, it honestly does come down to how are you raising your kids as a parent. Like, to be honest, like you honestly have control of what your kids can listen to or what your kids can do, and honestly, just raising your kid correctly, so they can make their own decisions. It's just I don't have kids, but I'm just going off of you know what I mean, like.
I mean, it's not you don't actually have to have kids, bro, to understand what's going on. Because I would be like, well, you're not a parent. You don't always got to be a parent for everything. Dismiss me with that you're not a parent shit. I ain't hearing that bullshit. So because I'm not a parent, I'm gonna, I can't say that like, okay, you do something wrong. You get in arguments, baby daddy, you got the kid there, listen to stuff you shouldn't be listening to, and then you're getting it on with your boyfriend in the corner. Come on now. If you don't get it on, make sure your kid's not home. Fuck out of here with that. I'm just not hearing that at all. That if somebody wants to comment, I'm just not hearing that either. That well, you guys are not parents. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, we do know what we're talking about. We don't got to be parents, but we understand how things work. Again, open-mindedness. I'm not a parent, but I'm close to it. I mean, I'm sure you got nephews and nieces too. I babysit a lot. I'm a parent at this point in age, bro. I hate to say that. I'm a parent without a title of being a parent. Do pets count, bro? Cats and dogs that count? Because if that's the case, I'm like a cat/dog dad uncle. You are too.
Yeah,
you have cats. I know you have like 2 or 3 cats or something.
2 of them, yeah. They're my parents' cats, yeah.
You were there. They're like your brothers of sorts.
Exactly. I mean, like people want to talk about censoring like free speech in this country, but the thing about it is like you got to censor your kids from watching or listening to certain things if you don't want them to be listening to it. At the end of the day, you're the parent. It's so basically just breaking down what cancel culture is. All it is, it's mostly negative connotations used in debates on free speech and censorship. So this country is like a country where, like, free speech is a thing. It's an amendment, right? The freedom of speech.
What about amendments, right?
But a lot of times,
we pride ourselves on, bro. America is known for free speech.
Yeah, I mean, the notion of cancel culture, basically, it's just a variant on the term of call-out culture. You're calling people out, constitutes a form of boycotting and shunning involving an individual who has acted or spoken in an unacceptable manner to certain people. And they try to get them shut down and canceled. Like if they had a TV show or music, they try to get them
canceled though. Why can't they just like let if he's
have all their music removed?
Bro.
If something happens,
why can't they just like take the guy and like
just don't listen.
Just don't listen or give him a break. Okay, let's give the Joe Rogan podcast a break for 2 months. They're not going to cancel Whoopi, but she said something.
Yeah, so that's a great point actually right there. So that's one of the reasons why we were going to talk tonight, guys. The Joe Rogan whole controversy that just kind of went down. They're trying to take his podcast off Spotify right now, the Joe Rogan Experience. And I didn't actually listen to the episode here, but what I kind of gathered is it's like over his views on the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine. He's pretty open-minded. I don't think he's like completely against it, but I guess he is somewhat, and like they want him canceled. There's a whole thing going on right now with that, man. You might know a little bit about it.
Off Spotify. Yeah. Well, now, Steve, 2 things. But actually, I need to go back to the Megan Thee Stallion situation because actually, I got a story for that real quick. But don't want to get canceled. Man. I almost got canceled a couple of times, but they're trying to cancel me. They tried to cancel me last year. They're trying to cancel me, and you know what I'm talking about because you told me about that too. You had informed me that somebody apparently that follows the podcast wasn't very happy over some comments that was made by me. But at the same time, I don't go back on nothing I said. What I say is what I said. I'll say it again. I don't care if it costs me my platform at the end of the day because I want to speak things how they spoken. Whoever listens, listen. Whoever does listen, let him be doomed and damned. That's just how I look at it, bro. I have to steal that quote a little bit. But here's the thing. 2 things real quick about this backtrack. I'm gonna go back to Joe Rogan in a second. Let's go back to the Nick and Stallion and Cardi B situation. When I made a comment about how the song could be detrimental and kind of poison young girls' minds, a lot of women attacked me ruthlessly. They said, "Well, you know what you're talking about. You're being a sexist and that." And I said, all I said is that it's not in a place and it should not be played in certain situations. You know what I mean? Like just to read some comments. But hang on, we'll read it in a second. Let me finish my thought though. So basically, I was saying that it all started because I said, get your girl that's more like, what's her name? Janelle Monáe, who's actually a lesbian, but it's her choice. But she's a great, classy woman. I said, don't go after Cardi B. And then, gangs of women got mad on my page. And some of them actually friends of mine, actually really cool with them. It wasn't like they were really, some were attacking me, some weren't, but they're just really strong-minded. And even people that, I'm not going to say their names, but, they're on here often. They've been on the show and everything. felt some kind of way, and and some attacked me, some didn't. When some of your friends actually seem that they're attacking you, but they're not, they're just strong debating you, it get a little real. So I went back on my page. I didn't take nothing out. One chick, man, I had to get her out of there. She was talking too recklessly. I told her, to watch her mouth. If not, it could be really bad for her too. And simple as that. And I had to get her out. She got really disrespectful on the page. I was like, oh, you better watch your mouth. I said, one thing to say thing and attack the same way. When you say some disrespectful things like that, I'm not a chump. You know what I mean? I told her out. I told her not to make threats. You say something like that. I said, nothing will happen to you. I said, but you better watch out. Your husband better take care of you. If not, have to take care of him. Simple as that. You know what I mean? I don't play that because you got really disrespectful. And then some girl said, "Oh well, Janelle Monáe's gay. She's a lesbian." That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm saying she's more classy than Cardi B. Cardi B does a lot of trashy things, in my opinion. I like Cardi B's music, but I can't appreciate it too. There's a reason for everything, but we made a lot of people very famous for no reason, bro. Even though I like Cardi to an extent and all, and she probably got a little better with things. She just won a lawsuit, by the way, against Tasha K. I think it was Tasha. Yeah, I can't remember who, but it was a lawsuit, something that streams for love and hip hop. So, and again, this is all connected to entertainment. I said what I said, and this song, I wasn't bashing the song. I'm just saying, why they playing the song on TikTok when there's young kids watching it? How about they did TikTok for kids and adults? Because I'm seeing it's all mixed. And some songs are saying curse words on TikTok. I heard it because I got nieces that are saying names. I said, I don't think that should be the case. And then some agree with me, some didn't. Some again say like people saying, well, it depends on the parents. The parents this and that. The parents can always monitor their kids do it. It's always the people out there, bro. Their parents too. It's how conveniently Cardi B does not want her daughter to listen. Nothing she says, only the best stuff. But other people's daughters can listen to everything and get filled with poison and filth in their ears. Why is it the case? Nah, we're gonna say things straight here. And this podcast is not BS. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't come to this podcast. Simple as that. That's how I look at it. That's what I told you, that those girls that got upset, I don't care. I'm not changing anything. I never took the thing over. It's still on my IG. My Facebook. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And they got mad at me, tried to cancel me last year in the Kid Cudi thing. Those that know me, I'm a huge Kid Cudi supporter. I'm actually met Kid Cudi one time briefly. Like I was right there, and we see each other. It was like literally back to back with him. And I see him twice live. Once in Temple, once at TLA. Dope rapper, dope performer. One of my favorites from back. Like I was listening to him 13, 14 years ago. I knew about Kid Cudi when the world didn't know about Kid Cudi. So when I made a comment saying that I don't think she wore skirts, people again felt butthurt and they were really upset about it. They wanted to try to cancel me. But I spoke the truth. And guess what, by the way? Do you have an idea how many people DM me or hit me up behind the scenes saying, yo, you said the right thing? But they just didn't want to hit me up and see in their comments be seen, like in front of everybody. So they hit me up behind the scenes. And some people DM me, and some actually wrote on the actual Facebook on my wall. And they said what they said. Some didn't agree with what was going on. Some agreed with me, And I just said that I don't agree with that. I didn't say, that like you can't wear what you want to wear. Free will is free will. I just, spoke about how I felt about the situation, about Kid Cudi, somebody I know, and people trying to say, well, people in rap have done it all the time. No, the whole wearing skirts in hip hop is not really a thing, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't care what happens. It's not, no. Wearing skirt. If you want to wear a skirt for fun or to mess around or just as a costume, it's one thing. But all that skirt wearing thing, that's an agenda. But they're not ready for that, so I'm not going to go deeper and farther than that. Those that know me know what the fuck I'm talking about. Those that really watch, man. Check out my man, the God himself, man. The nation of gods in the earth, Lord Jamar. He talks about that. They're trying to cancel him too. Because they're saying he was hating on Eminem. He said skirt's gonna place in hip hop, and he was right. I don't care what they say, man. No rapper's gonna get respect wearing a skirt and going to a Wawa. You're not gonna bump 21 Savage if he wasn't wearing a skirt or Migos. Let's not get it, misunderstood. But if you want to wear a skirt, it's up to you. I can't think. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna call you no names. That's your will. I'm very accepting. Me and you're both very accepting people, bro. We might not like and condone those things necessarily, but we're accepting. We still, we pray for everybody.
Yeah,
so there's rights. There's if you want to marry a man, that's cool. I mean, we're not gonna, like get in your way. Do what you want to do. I don't agree with that, but
that's the critical difference. It's like, you might not, your view on it might be like it doesn't belong in hip hop, but at the end of the day, you're accepting like whatever. Like it's like that's just my view on it.
Bro. Even
but at the end of the day, it's not
like, I'm not gonna, be like, but I mean,
I'm not gonna support Kid Cudi because of it. Right? Exactly. Like that's
bro. I still listen to Kid Cudi. I follow Kid Cudi now on IG. I used to not follow him. Now I follow Kid Cudi, and I was bumping his music. There's a fact. There's something I was watching about Kid Cudi right now. The evolution.
What he wears. What he wears doesn't affect his music. Yeah, what he wears doesn't affect his music. Exactly.
Not at all, bro. I don't care if if the man turn, people got think because hip hop guys supposed to be all straight. I don't even care if like someone Kid Cudi, turn gay. That's fine too. I mean, that's what you be. I grew up to your music before all that, and I'm still gonna support you after. But I can't say that I agree with everything. And people got mad because the caption. Yeah, man, they try to cancel me. I'm talking about because that's exactly what you told me about. It was about the Kid Cudi thing. The Megan Thee Stallion thing was also something. Again, it was more about I think it was about Cardi B though, but it was a song that at the time, the WAP song, what it stands for.
Yeah. So that's and that's a critical difference, guys. open-mindedness doesn't mean you just agree with everything. Because if you don't agree with everything, you don't. If you agree with everything, you don't stand for anything. So you have to have views. That's actually
there
a
gotta be some
very
ground, some views,
good
some
critical
things you don't
point.
agree with.
You can't just agree with everything. Like open-mindedness is you have your view and what you stand for, but you can also have the ability to be able to look at other people's sides of a story, because everything could there could always be another side to something, and you're open-minded to all possibilities. That's actually a very good point. Like if you don't stand for anything, like what does that really make you? If you just follow what everybody else says just to make everybody happy, you don't stand for anything, man.
You can't
Like, what
if
do
you
you
if you
really?
don't stand for anything, bro. It's like the saying, you'll fall for anything, or you could just like fall or die for nothing. When I say stand for something or
You're
just
just a
fall for
yes man. You
anything.
go along with everybody.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you're a
cannot
yes
be.
man.
I can't be the guys that I say one thing, then when somebody says something else, I agree with it. If I strongly disagree with something, bro, it's like against my. I can't even really say, oh, I agree, even if I'm lying. Just go, oh, yo, George, I'll pay you a couple of racks just so you can lie and go on a show and be like, yeah, I agree with what's going on and all the BS. No, I can't do that. Sorry, it's against what I believe in. I'm not gonna, fall for the BS. But again, we can listen to things. We might not agree with them, but we'll still play them on our show. We'll talk about it. We'll address them, show some content. But at the end of the day, bro, we have our beliefs, and that's the thing. That's why cancel culture is so toxic at times, because it's like if you don't give what they say, it's like a very much a need to just go what they say, and there's like nothing else like it, and that's it. And I'm like, well, it's not the case. It doesn't have to be like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Yeah, guess what? If you agree with everybody, guess what happens? If you got one friend that agrees with one thing, another friend agrees with another one, they'll be like, "Wait, you said you agreed with this. Wait, no, you said you agreed with this."
I'm neutral,
It's like,
bro.
what happens? Like, you know what I mean? You gotta stand for something. And guess what? People will not respect you if you don't stand for something. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
tell
these
you that
days,
right
bro,
now.
the real ones don't really get the respect. 'Cause, I mean, the real ones, you can't even be a real one. You have to be fake as shit and say BS. It's not true. So, yeah, I hear
Man,
you. Nobody respects you, but because it's such a pussified world, bro, and everything's so pathetic and sensitive, it's like almost like he's meant to talk a lot and don't even really express yourself. But still got to be your man, though. You still got to, get respect whenever
yeah,
like they comes in, and don't stand firm. Don't backpedal, don't backtrack. No one likes the guy to cop please. If you cop please now, you copy please now. If you're backtracking, be like, he's backtracking. Look at him. He's everything from back in the day. I saw a video with Pete Davidson, right? Who's with Kim Kardashian now. The whole thing in Kanye. They're going at it a little because that's his accent. Clearly, Kanye, probably wants to
yeah.
go
I
back.
listen to Easy, man. That song's a little Kanye in the game. Ooh, if you haven't
Oh,
listened to it,
yeah. He's distant. Right. I never even heard this song. I heard it maybe one time, but I was too mangled to really understand it. But here's the thing. Pete Davidson says, "I want old Kanye West. I want Kanye 2006 back." And you wear a hat like the mega hats that said 2006 Kanye. What he's virtually trying to say, and people have said in the past that Kanye contradicted himself with what he did like more recent years. I guess the whole thing with Kanye, supporting Trump and supporting the Republican Party, and this when he actually badmouthed the Republican Party back in 2005. So I guess I see what they're saying, but they're saying Kanye changed the person. He's a lot more arrogant now. He's a lot more weird. He said a lot of big things that again, I don't want to talk too much because we're not trying to shift from the main subject, but you got to do with cancel culture. And Kanye makes some comments that he probably would have made back in the day, or you would have said it differently. So that's what Pete Davidson's trying to say. That's what a lot of fans are actually trying to say about Kanye. So because I know, I'm sure you heard that, I want to hold Kanye back, man. Kanye is going against everything he said back in the day. Like whatever he said back then, he's contradicting. And he seems that way. But if you listen to Kanye, some of his more recent interviews, he makes sense of a lot of things that he said like 2 years ago when people were hating on him, last year, the year before that. But Kanye's one of those guys. He's getting he needs medication, so he's all over the place sometimes. But I mean, that's the thing. That's people love Kanye. He's a genius, but sometimes because he says a lot, his mouth might get him in trouble. And I mean, they're trying to cancel Kanye too, But back then, he was actually going against. He went on a tyrant against Bush. He was damn near trying to cancel George Bush. Remember that? Kanye made a song about
I
Bush
remember
back
that.
then. Yeah, back when Katrina was going on, and he just didn't feel like George Bush was doing a good job with helping minorities.
The thing with Kanye, like my personal view on it, and like I said, don't want to stray too much from the point. I think Kanye is a creative genius. Obviously,
exactly.
I think Kanye has a little bit of problems, right? I mean, he doesn't shy away from saying he does, though. You know what I mean? Like
he's
Kanye,
just so very smart though and open-minded, but because he says some things a few ways, it's like he people take it the wrong way. Sometimes he says things because he thinks too much about him. He might say it comes out wrong, but he probably meant something different. Because Kanye says he's in music and he's a creative genius. I mean, he can make some amazing music, some great interviews.
He really can.
He has good quotes. He's not a dumb guy by no means. If you think he's a dumb guy, then you're the dumb guy. Kanye's a very intelligent guy. We can all agree with that for the most part.
We'll talk more on a music episode on it. But yeah, Kanye experiments with a lot of different types of music, which like I honestly respect Kanye for that. That's what I mean. Like he's a creative genius. And I do like Kanye. I like
He's very
P. Diddy,
passionate too, so he comes across like an asshole, like a dick. Like when he snatched that word from Taylor Swift because he's so passionate about things. He's like, Beyonce, one of the greatest videos of all time. Well, Kanye,
Yeah,
here's the thing, bro. This is not about one of the greatest. This is about this particular person. Beyonce comes later. We could talk about it a few minutes later. See, he was drunk that day, and he did this dumb shit he did back in 09. But that's what people like Kanye.
It was a publicity stunt, though. I mean, when you think about it, Taylor Swift was kind of big right before that, right? She kind of already was, but her career really, really skyrocketed after that
Kanye
whole
interrupted
thing with Kanye.
her. So
I mean, in a way, if he had to be the bad guy, he had to be the bad guy. But guess what? I mean, her career kind of skyrocketed after. She was already big at the time.
At the time, it was crazy, bro. I remember when it happened. The world seen it. He got very backlash. One of the most classic moments, iconic moments in MTV history. Kanye, I mean, but it's Kanye. He always does.
What NWA always used to say, Eazy-E and stuff, they're like, all publicity is good publicity. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like no matter what,
Eazy does it.
Yeah, no matter what, they're talking about you, right? So I'm like, bad or good, you're getting publicity.
Here's something funny, bro, and then we'll go back to Joe Rogan in a second because we got to keep time here.
We'll shift back.
Yeah, we'll shift back. So NWA made a song. There was a song, I believe it was called My Adidas from Run DMC, and NWA, they switched it to My Penis. And then the controversial songs, I think it was something called Sweat Up My Balls, and they were not supposed to perform that song. They performed it, and then a riot happened. They shut down the arena shortly after the concert was over. It was just throwing bottles. I mean, the cops got involved. It got very ugly. And also, they were warned not to perform Fuck the Police, and they did anyway. And, I mean, the rest is history, as they say. But it's a lot. A lot happens. With the Kanye thing and the music thing and WA and them, a lot of stuff, happened. But it paved the way for artists to have so much free will now. And some people feel like artists haven't really, haven't talked enough or don't get enough, free will and, like free speech or whatever. Some feel like they do too much and they got the balls in their court. Of course, even artists got to be careful what they say. I mean, look what happened to Baby, cancel culture. He almost got canceled because of some comments he made, which he could have worded a little differently, because the way he came out sounded a little biased. Although I don't think he was really being biased personally. I just think he came across that way, and it's hard to understand that when you're reading it on a paper, on a newspaper. When you hear stuff, it sounds like he was just halfway joking around. I'm like, yo, is he high? Like, what's up with my man's, yo? What is he saying?
Yeah, it's funny, man.
Yeah. Now, real quick now, because we'll shift away a little, because again, I have to kind of, since you mentioned that song about Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and I was canceled last year because of that. Let's kind of go back to the Joe Rogan situation. Yeah, so Joe Rogan, it seems like people are having a lot of issues with him spreading. It's not so much Joe Rogan, it's the fact that his podcast, now it's kind of like it might drop. I already guess he might have dropped some viewers. I don't know that exactly. See, I don't know the analytics. I got to check out the numbers. So I don't want to throw no information out there that's wrong. First of all, I'm trying to be very careful. That's what I'm saying. Maybe in some cases, I don't know for sure. The numbers definitely, he's definitely getting some backlash. It's all over the headlines, all over the news, on IG, on Facebook, and all that. There's a lot of groups. People need to realize Joe Rogan's podcast is the most popular in the world. You're not going to cancel the podcast right away. Let me repeat that, refrain it for those that are hard of hearing. The Joe Rogan podcast is the most popular in the world. You're not going to just, cancel the podcast like that. It's not, a small podcast, some small show, how you're struggling. He's huge. He's a huge name.
The first article that I saw when I was looking at it was the New York Times. Joe Rogan is too big to cancel.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you chiming in on that. So, having said that, there we go. You got it all. Having said that, they don't mean they can try to cancel him or throw Shady's way, trying to make it seem like he's the bad guy, put a picture of Joe Rogan kind of looking like this, like, I don't know, with his, with a funny facial expression, like he's a comedian, he says a lot of things that may not be true, but his podcast, for the most part, I can vouch for it. And I'm not even the biggest, Joe Rogan. I'm a fan of his. I'm a supporter more than anything. And he does the UFC stuff, plus he does the, he trains MMA, so obviously I like him in that sense. He does jiu-jitsu. But I'm not the biggest fan of everything he says. He's plenty of things he said in the past. I'm like, what is he talking about, Joe? Are you fucking out of your mind, my dude? I might have to call Joe Rogan and these people and be like, yo, let's smoke a J and forget everything you talked about because you're saying stupid things. For example, let me give you an example, right? When Conor McGregor punched a guy at the club, he punched an old man for not wanting a shot of his, his little proper whiskey. And Joe Rogan said, like, well, it's expect Conor's the badass because stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's not badass, though. Conor's the badass for cool things he says that sound kind of badass, but he still has a heart a little bit. Still, at the time, he can be a little humble, true. Don't say that he's okay for punching an old man. That's just fucked up. I mean, come on. He really can be. You know what I mean? Like, what? And then he apologized for it. And my man Matt Sarah called him out. And he's like, yo, Joe, come on now. See, half the world has no idea who Matt Sarah is probably because they just know Joe Rogan and dick rides Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan dick rides the UFC fighters. Or let me rephrase it a little bit. Let me rephrase it. He follows them a lot. That's his guys, the UFC fighters. So as much as all these, people out here that never really watched the UFC or Joe Rogan before. I follow him now because they think he's cool because of podcast and all that. You have to realize Joe Rogan is all with the fighters, but he's like this, like all in cahoots, really cool with a lot of the groups out there, like different MMA gyms, organizations, fighters, guys that have got podcasts and platforms, guys that are entrepreneurs. So their opinion matters to Joe Rogan. That's what Joe Rogan is really cool with those guys. And, he had to, I guess, defend himself and kind of retract some of the comments he said. Because to say that Connor's badass or stuff like that, doing the thing they did to the bus, you remember kind of gangster, bro, when he threw the dolly, trying to fight Khabib? He wasn't a gangster. It was just really something like, very, very, bad timing, very wrong to do, poor taste, very fucked up. If he had some kind of beef, try to just corner Khabib, and then you got, they're a gangster crew, you're a gangster crew, get in there. He flew 24 hooligans, coked out guys, fighters, hooligans, goons, whatever you call it, halfway across the world, across the planet, and he brought him here to start trouble because one of these guys got cornered. But in reality, he should have picked his battle a little better, a little different. He shouldn't vandalize things like that. He shouldn't throw dollies. You're a fighter. But, he really looks up to him. People look up to him. Young fighters can look up to that and think that's cool. Come on now. No matter how you look at it, it's not cool to throw a dolly and create that kind of chaos. Then you try to kill somebody. He said winning without weapons. The only thing that would have made it worse was weapons and knives. They went out there because they knew they could fight, and they're going to fight other fighters. So it's going to be a brawl in melee, And he used the weapon. He's a dolly. He smashed the bus. So that's not condonable behavior. So Joe Rogan, had to kind of backphrase and retract things he said in the past. And he said some, and other things beyond it too. Now, some things are controversial. Some things are nothing to, to really backtrack. But sometimes, he has crossed the line a little. And there's even a video. A few times he lost it on air. He crossed the line. You've seen it when he flipped on his guests. He flipped out on, who, the change my mind guy. Right, I'm trying to tell you. And he's like, no, weed is a lot of bad, stuff. And he's like, what are you talking about, dipshit? He started calling it dipshit. If you haven't watched the video, please watch it. Recommend it. The guy, bro, it's like this. Like, the earth is flat. Change my mind. He's like this on the table.
Yeah, he's sitting there with the coffee. Yeah.
The Bishop Pyro? Nah. What's his name? I can't remember his name, dude. Something. I know he's a Canadian guy. I think he's a Canadian Jewish guy, but very opinionated. But I'm gonna keep it real. Joe Rogan shouldn't have went so defensive on him. He should have just kind of be like, Joe Rogan got triggered and emotional because the guy didn't respect, or not even respect, but he decided to respect potheads or stoners, like Joe Rogan is, by the way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So am I, but it's a different story. But here's the thing. The fucking thing is, Joe Rogan should be like, all right, if you don't respect the cool, but don't bring out BS information. If it gets like that ugly, be like, all right, come on, let's just keep it cool. Give your opinion of mine. When you bring out the book, then we can talk about it. Chill with that, don't bring this information. But to try to like control a guy and crush him in his own show, and he apologized eventually. Now the guy's been a dick too. The guy's clearly a doofus, and there's actually a whole video on Joe Rogan crushing. I believe he's about 10 or 15 guests he crushed. Like the one dude, he was some kind of, I don't know if he's a priest or something religion, trying to act like he was like I don't know what he's doing, bro, but he's damn near saying that like guys that were pardoned, they should have been pardoned. No, the Pope shouldn't have pardoned those pedophiles. Sorry, they don't deserve to be pardoned, and he was okay with that. And Joe Rogan called them out. Now that fucker, he deserved to be called out by Joe Rogan, but other guys, probably shouldn't be called out. I mean, some guys, Joe could have been a little more, a little less aggressive. I mean, just because they don't smoke weed, they look at it different. Be like, okay, there's no, you're wrong, and there's really no evidence whatsoever in your argument. It's false. But I mean, that's how you feel. I mean, I can't change your mind. But to say that's facts, and I know it for sure, when you bring the stuff, bring the information forward. That's how you could have handled it. Joe Rogan went in a tyrant, and he was like a 10-minute, it's a hilarious video, just with the change my mind guy, Ben, whatever his name is. I don't even know his name is, but yeah, that right there, that's one of the most brutal ones. But Joe Rogan, a couple. Oh, another one is what's her name? Candace Owens, with her sexy little ass. He went at her a couple times because what it was? Global warming. Global warming. That's what it was with Candace. But Candace had a lot of stuff that she went, in and out with, with Joe Rogan. They had the whole lot of issue. The race thing was brought in, of course. It's Candace Owens. He's going to have some kind of controversy. It's Joe Rogan. He don't shy away from an argument. He never has. So, but now, this one, bro. I mean, how do you feel about that personally? Do you feel like Joe Rogan spreading misinformation? It was just the context of things, and a doctor that was there. Maybe he said some opinions rather than facts. That's what I feel like. I don't think it was actually misinformation per se. It's more like opinions that are not accurate, which can't classify as misinformation. And that's just what happened. I mean, the whole world took it, the certain way. They jumped the gun with it. Now all these artists like Neil Young doesn't want to be a part of Spotify because he shares platform with Joe Rogan. But your music has nothing to do with the podcast. If anything, people could be like, yo, take his podcast off of it. But take my music off Spotify because Joe Rogan is in there and he's spreads misinformation. I don't know, bro. I can't say I agree with this art. I'll keep it real.
I agree. I think it's more opinions than as much as facts getting spread around. I mean, Joe Rogan has always it's funny, man. When the Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers were eliminated from the playoffs, that's all. I actually looked at the comments, and all the comments were making fun of Aaron Rodgers because he took advice from Joe Rogan apparently to not get
He took advice from Joe Rogan. What happened?
Yeah. People were like, "Are you agreed with Joe Rogan?" They're like, "Oh, this is what happens when you follow Dr. Joe Rogan." Like there were a lot of comments that were kind of making fun of Aaron Rodgers, saying like, "Oh, Dr. Joe Rogan" and stuff.
Dr. Joe Rogan. What like memes or actual comments? They're both, because that's what
like
actual
comments, like trashing Joe Rogan, like on the Green Bay Packers being eliminated. So this is how you get to say like that. So many people were up in arms about, and then other people were defending Joe Rogan.
I mean, time out. Hang on. Stay with me real quick, right? I want to ask you a question. What does that do with Joe Rogan saying sometimes it wasn't really actually him and Rodgers losing because he heard Joe Rogan with butthurt fans? And it's my team, by the way, the Packers. So you know that it's one of my main teams. But we've seen how they lost. It's over. But what does that have to do with Rodgers? He didn't wear a mask, and I feel want to beat them. He missed a couple passes because he heard Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan does nothing to do with football, first of all, and probably knows nothing about really football. The MMA is this thing, another sports. So why would they connect the two? See how stupid people are, bro? Oh, but just trash Joe Rogan because he said something and Rodgers lost. Trash Rodgers. No, trash the fact that they got opinions. Like Kyrie Irving, he didn't take the shot, so he got to play certain games. Some games he can't play. I believe he can't play his own state home games. It's so weird, man.
Yeah, like a bunch of articles, they were saying that Dr. Joe Rogan making fun of Aaron Rodgers. Apparently, he listens to Joe Rogan, and like there was like a lot of stuff. So it was like basically what I saw. Like I'll pull up the article I was reading. It was Pat McAfee was attacking on the Pat McAfee show. He was attacking Aaron Rodgers. Basically, what had happened was while Rodgers was talking about doing research on the COVID-19 vaccine. So pretty much, if you guys don't know, Aaron Rodgers, he's quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, right? And like what had happened was Aaron Rodgers had lied about being vaccinated. So he actually was suspended a little bit. What happens is while Rodgers was talking about doing research on the COVID-19 vaccine, he said he had spoken to several doctors as well. Last week, the internet collectively, they said that they did a double take when Aaron Rodgers said his friend Joe Rogan was someone he had spoken to about the vaccine. So they were making fun of. They're like, "Oh, Dr. Joe Rogan." Rogan. So everybody knows Rogan. Joe Rogan is the host of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah,
he is of course not a doctor.
He's not a doctor,
in
but
fact, that Rogan has spread a number of COVID-19 myths. So this article is saying that he spread myths and misinformation, including advocating for ivermectin, which the CDC says does not treat or prevent the virus. You know what a lot of other people were making fun of? They were saying, "Oh, if you eat elk, you know how Joe Rogan eats elk? Like, oh, if you eat elk, you'll be cured from the coronavirus." There were like a lot of jokes.
Who said that? Joe Rogan said that actually? I don't think he ever said that, did he?
No, he never did. He never did. But people were like making fun of him because he eats elk.
Oh yeah, he eats a lot of elk.
Oh yeah,
elk is one of the best foods for you, though. What are they talking? You know how good elk is? You know how expensive this shit is, bro.
You know what? I'm not saying anything about the vaccine or anything. Like if you choose to get it, you choose to get it. If you choose not to get it, you choose not to get it. To be honest, like everybody has their reasons. Everybody has a reason why. And I don't advocate for not getting it. I don't advocate for getting it if you feel uncomfortable getting it. My whole thing is I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but the whole thing, what it was, a lot of the people, somebody commented, a lot of you people that are commenting for the vaccine are the people that are like out of shape, like have underlying conditions, and are like sitting behind your keyboard, talking.
Right. How easy, convenient to talk shit and try to kill somebody that actually has a big podcast. We're supposed to bring people in awareness to maybe figure out how to, how to combat this kind of issue with the COVID-19, which has been going on for almost 3 years now, almost. I mean, over 2 years basically, because he started in other parts of the world before it came to us in our shores. Here's the thing. Joe Rogan, I mean, I don't know in person, never met the guy. I mean, I've been to a couple of UFC shows, but I never really met him. A good friend of mine and one of my first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coaches actually rolled with Joe Rogan, and they actually met him in Hawaii. They smoked like 3 blunts in Hawaii, he said, or something like that years ago, and they rolled. And he said, Joe Rogan's cool. Yes, he can be a little over-opinionated, but he does not strike me as the type of guy to spread misinformation. I just don't see that because he seems very accurate. He always says, Google that. It's just to be on point. So, and again, people don't like Joe Rogan. Like even Dan was telling me, one time they're like, I'm not a fan of him like that, but the way he does the podcast, it works. Like he's legit, like he's good, which is why he's one of the #1 podcasts and top in the world. Also, because Joe Rogan is very charismatic. I mean, they're known from the UFC, Fear Factor, comedy shows, and from movies. I mean, he already was really well established by the time the podcast started, and he started small. And now it's like in the last, his podcast is 13 years old, bro. 13 years old, and he's got
He was one of the first. He was one of the first podcasts ever.
One of the first ever when the podcasting was just starting out. Although it existed a little. See, podcasting existed back in the day, but there were various forms. And I talked about Bob Carson. We'll bring Bob again. You know, they'll do the interview Bob, and me and him just did a podcast in Florida. But we'll bring him again. Talk about the beginning of podcasts. And we'll talk about the history a little. And that could be another episode too, sometime in the 70s, because we're reaching 70 soon. I mean, we're 68 right now. So, but yeah. So Joe Rogan, bro, has about, I believe the number of episodes are like, let me think. If he does like, I'm not sure if he does how many he does a day, or I mean maybe he does like every week or every 2 weeks. So I mean for 13 years, yeah, a couple thousand. I mean, I believe he's up to like the number of episodes is like not 17,000. I want to say 1,700 something. Because I mean I looked at something recently, said episode such and such, and here's the number, and he does all of them. Ironically enough, I did a project in college when I was going to college with Marius as Holy Family on the drug and experience. It's about you to look at a podcast and talk about what you learned. And actually was the Kid Cudi episode when Kid Cudi was invited. All the way back in September 2014. And it was a dope episode. It was really good, bro. Really good. They were smoking J's, man. I was like, man, I wish I was in that fucking episode. Such a good one. Speaking ironic how later years, bro, they're trying to cancel Joe Rogan. They're trying to cancel me because I made a post about Kid Cudi. I'm a fan of Kid Cudi. I fuck with Kid Cudi, you know, so it's ironic how it works out, bro. Yeah, it was for digital media class back in 2014. I actually got a good grade. I got like a B+ in that particular assignment.
They're gonna cancel George Mencha next. They're gonna cancel
me next. They might cancel you next, dog. Hey, Steve, they're gonna cancel your ass, Steve.
There'll be some people that would probably want to cancel me.
They're gonna cancel your white ass. Yeah. Well, they wouldn't cancel us unless we're more famous. I mean, if they cancel us, they're like, who gives a fuck about these guys? They cancel us just to do it. But if we actually work on like getting more and more, bro, like you know how we're getting some, you know, talking about those comments that we edit out, bro, like those hateful comments. That's the beginning, bro. That's just trolls online. Imagine people want to cancel you, and it's such a troll culture and cancel culture.
I don't even know if they're actual people. It could just be bots.
It could
just be a bot. Could just be a bot. You don't even know the comments that come through with the malicious links. So sometimes guys will get like random comments on the stream. They're a random profile with a bunch of letters and numbers. We'll just get different ones, and they'll put like malicious links in the comments, like that. You obviously know if you click it, you can get a virus, or it'll send.
Remember that crazy name, bro? The crazy link, the first one we got that I canceled right away.
Yeah, we've had quite a few, but we do a good job.
Yeah.
We can see them as they come in, so we can block them right away, so nobody has to click that. But I think that's just kind of bots. I don't even think those are real people, unless somebody's literally like messing with us. But I doubt it.
I feel like it's both. I feel like some of the bots are actually real people. I mean, it's a little bit
I don't know. I think that's a lot of work to create a fake channel. I think it's just more probably bots. Which
you'd be surprised how fake people got nothing to do, bro. You're surprised sometimes. I hear you, bro. I definitely think it's more like just spams and malicious software and bots. So. Sometimes like a person could create that and he just sends it out, and then it's not necessarily him. It's just things that accumulate through different spyware and malicious software or like a virus type of pop-ups, as people already know they work on computers. But sometimes people too though got nothing to do. They say, hey, this is some fucked up shit, like what up, dude? You still you still a weirdo, and they'll call you like bad names, and they'll call you, for example, for the show, like sometimes people call on the show. They'll be like, what's up, pussy? Still getting fucked? Like, what'd you say? Like, all right, come on, don't still slick shit. No, stay in. Don't hang up. Who are you? Then hang up. All right, folks. If you don't call the show and took some slick shit.
You're right. We did have one that was actually specific the one time. Remember that? It was the hateful comment one. That's not the one you're talking about. The first one that didn't even have a link in it. It was what was it? It was like 666, like Adolf Hitler, like something crazy.
Yeah, something Nazi. Some very fucked up words that we don't want to repeat. Again,
I'm not even gonna repeat what the comments were, but like the dude's profile name was like Nazi 666, Adolf Hitler,
Illuminati, some racist stuff, KKK, some fucked up shit. I was like, okay, you fuck your name, fuck you, and I remember that shit. Power move right away. Didn't even give him no real time on it. Nah. I mean, we seen it. I was like, I think this says fuck out of here. You're like, yo, just let it go, bro. Yeah, and then I blocked him right away. All you gotta do is block. That's it. That's all it is. It's that simple. It's like that.
It's exactly.
Bro, we do not gotta like. How can I say it? Like, get our mind caught up in BS. We don't got to argue nobody online. If they're man enough to come see us, it would be a very bad move for them if they want to come see me for sure, or you for that matter. So it's just not really gonna go down like that. It's not even going down like that. We're here to again. We kind of pride ourselves we try to keep a positive podcast. Sure, there's a lot of fuckery. Sometimes we'll curse, and we try not to though, because obviously for YouTube, for the monetize, try to eventually get monetized. You don't want to curse, or just to kind of be considered like a good podcast to eventually get to that stage. You don't want to have too many spams or curse words or contradictory or controversial episodes. But I mean, the world is what it is. Our podcast, anything can happen, but we're trying to keep it a certain way. And I like it the way you like it the way. We're not going to concern ourselves with hateful comments. You think Joe Rogan reads that stuff, bro? He actually mentioned one. He doesn't make comments at all on YouTube at all. He stopped writing comments. I'm like, good idea, because people argue too much on YouTube, bro. It's always been like that. It's the way people argue. Why can people have a nervous situation conversation? All right, bro, my bad, you're right. Or like, I don't agree, but to each your own. Actually, I'll do that. I even tell people have a good day on YouTube. But then they want to say, what the fuck you watching there? And then people want to be slick and funny when he's not meant to be funny. And they want to be like sick, perversive comedy, you know? So they talk shit a lot of times. And they'll call you out. They'll mention your family, your mom, this and that. I'm like, yo, bro, what's that about, man? Like, really, though? You would never act like that if I was in front of you, number one. Number two, if I can find out where you are, and it's actually just weird to find out too, bro. It's not that hard. Just they're online. Can you find out? It's just a lot of work. Really think I'm gonna look for you?
Here's how I see it. If people really resort to that level of
pettiness,
if they reach that low, then you're probably not happy with yourself. I get it that like you shouldn't allow disrespect, but like realistically, what are we really gonna do on the internet? You know what I mean? Like there's just nothing we can really realistically do about that. It's who said that? Marius canceled George.
Yep. I was a cancel, man. I'm controversy. I'm like the Eminem of the podcast world. I just talk all the shit in the world, but get away with it. I get a pass for everything, but they're gonna cancel me. Yeah, cancel George 2022.
Cancel George 2022.
That's a good one.
Be a campaign.
Very good one, Marius. Keep out the jokes. Yeah. No, I mean exactly. Real Steve. I just told the story. They tried to cancel me last year, bro. I've been near canceled. I'm gonna let you finish your second, Steve. I've been near canceled about 4 times, bro, between 2018 and now. But go ahead, continue. They're not gonna cancel me, but it's tried.
No, all I was saying was like if somebody comes at you with personal attacks, it's more of they're reaching below the belt because they're not happy with themselves. If anybody comes at me and it gets to a personal level, I already know that they lost. They already lost the argument because if you can't, it means you lost your cool. You got emotional, and at that point, you're just reaching. At the end of the day, if somebody tries to start an argument with me on social media or the internet, there's nothing I'm going to realistically do about it. Like if somebody steps to you in person, puts their hands on you, that's another story. But realistically, like you should never allow people to really, I know I've talked about this on other episodes. You should realistically not allow people to kind of destroy your inner peace. Don't allow people to take you off your center in life.
Right.
Like no matter
trigger
what.
You or control you because it's a form of controlling, bro.
It's distractions. It's control. And honestly, they own real estate inside your mind when you allow other people to control you. So don't give people that energy. You free your mind. Don't give people that energy. Don't give people that power for them to be able to do that to you. So, I was one of those people, I'd get frustrated. Somebody says something to me like, oh, I'm going to beat this person's ass. It's like,
I know, for real, right? Like, for example,
to be
somebody
honest,
talk shit about you, but somebody, some fucking redneck idiot talking crap, chubby racist or be a piece of shit talking about, yo, I'll fuck you, my fucking sister. Whoa, you don't fuck my sister, my mom. What the fuck you talking about? You have your own. You fucking had a roadmap to your sister's pussy since you're fucking 2 years old. Yeah, fuck your cousin, sisters there. You got your own to do, you fucking redneck. And that's what it is, bro. It's always like racist people that get mad because you know what they do, bro? They get mad at people like us for speaking the truth because they want negativity. So they'll be like, they're recently fucked up, like, why are you in your dick? Why are you talking bullshit? But in reality, you're trying to be good. It's just they want to attack you because they're assholes and they're the screwed up person. So well, the best thing to do is not look at it, bro. Or like you said, bro, just say, oh, okay, I'll live rent free in your mind. Oh, okay, good to know. Next, that's all you can do.
A lot of times people will try to test the boundaries of people who they know are going to get pissed off. They know if they say something to this person that this person is going to lose it. So they're going to get a kick out of it because they're going to be like, yo, look, this dude is going to flip out at me. And they're going to try to start shit with you to take you off that center because they know you're going to get a reaction.
So things get physical and violent, but you don't want to get
See, when shit gets boring, when they know they can't do it, that's going to frustrate them even more, but they know they're not going to be able to get away with it. See, like, it's different, though. Like, I know disrespect should not be tolerated, but, like, over the internet, there's realistically nothing we can do about it. If somebody disrespects somebody,
but just click them back, say something, go fuck out of you, just cancel them, bro. Just click the button, that's all.
Exactly, because, like, if they probably wouldn't disrespect you in person. They see you in person, they ain't going to say, I'll fuck your sister, or I'll do this, or whatever the case, whatever you were just saying.
They're not going to talk shit about you. They're not going to be like, oh, get off my dick, because they know that the energy is different. Even on the phone, like, if they know you can kind of run into them, but if it's some loser from some place, some cave somewhere, I don't know, in the south of, Louisiana or somewhere in Montana, in a little caveman cave, lives under a rock, that talks shit, they can talk about, I want to fuck your girl. Okay, well, you can just look at her ball, jerk off, you can, because you're not going to get nowhere close. So go fuck yourself, basically. Or
one of my friends, there was a situation where,
like, your nose.
And I've done this to people too. One of my friends has had a recent situation where he was with his girlfriend and he was with her friend. and they were crossing the street, or no, they were trying to cross the street, and the dude for valet parking comes over. Like this dude was trying to rush his way in. He was trying to be a show off. He goes to almost cut them off and almost hits like the girls. And he just like he goes,
with
you
a
know,
car or like he's walking.
Yeah, with the car, and he goes, move out of the effing way. Meanwhile, this dude has like I guess girls in the back that he's trying to impress by saying it. My buddy just stopped in the front of this guy's car, just stared at him, and just like with like looked right at him. The dude is like yelling, and then he just stared at him and just cool, calm, and collected. And the dude just kind of shut up. And then later on, he had actually seen him inside the venue. And his girlfriend's like, oh, there's the guy over there. And the guy wouldn't even make eye contact with my boy. He was that scared. See, like that's the thing. Like people like will react to your energy. If you're confident, like he's like screaming and yelling, it's like this dude's emotional. And at any moment, my buddy's like, well, this guy could have hopped out the car or whatever. He's like, but if he did, I was ready for him no matter what. But he said he just looked at this dude and just didn't say anything. Like just gave him a friggin' look, and the dude like was like, oh, blah, blah. But he was trying to be a show off. He was trying to be a show off, and he was trying to be like, I guess, like act like he was important and stuff. But then when he seen him later in the venue, my boy just had like his energy where he was just calm and poised, and he was looking over at him, and the dude would look and then put his head down and stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just most of those people. Basically, my point is, most of the people that will say things to get a reaction out of you, they're the same type of people that won't say it to you in person. So, like, don't worry about it. Like, to be honest, just stay on your center. Don't allow them to take you off of it. And, yeah, just stay who you are. I would say realistically. You should never give people the power.
No, you're right, bro. And that's the thing. I'm glad you said it like that because here's the thing. By you doing this, look at somebody like this, bro. Just look at him like no expression. You don't know if it's like angry,
calm, collected.
Calm, but you kind of give it a look at, yo, what the fuck you doing? Like, yo, sometimes that bro can be very much like cancel everything. That right there, they could just kill the argument, the
just
shit
like
talking, the trolling, the energy. Because he doesn't know. Like, yo, this guy like this girl looking at me like he wants to kill me, hug me, talk shit to me.
It's enough to scare. It's enough to scare the other person because they're like,
which is why he saw him. Guess what? He didn't do it talking because he's doing it because he's like, oh, I'm gonna see him again. He's in line. You know, he's in a car like this. You know, driving. Like, oh, move, get the hell out the way. Try to be all funny and talk crap, but nah. Anyway,
another power move is I knew somebody who was inside of the gym, and the guy goes, he needed what did he need? So our buddy, he was talking about something with like lift the weight. He's like, oh, you're gonna lift that amount. Like this dude comes over, he's like, oh yeah, like you're gonna lift that amount of weight. You small as shit, bro, or something. And the guy was like, not to me. So my buddy, but what how he reacted was he said, this is a perfect thing you can say to somebody. Wait, what did you say? And have them repeat it. Like have them repeat it because sometimes they'll be like, oh, never mind or something. Because like they're actually scared to say it. But this dude was like, nah. He's like, you heard me. You a little bit, and he's just like, hope that made you feel better about yourself. Have a good day. Just walk past him. Like, nah, just like a confident, like, and dude's like, oh, whatever.
It's like you're killing them with confidence, or killing them with very little. Just like, oh, okay, you feel better about yourself. You get your rocks off. You got your heart on. Okay, good.
Yeah, like,
good to know.
Hope that made you feel better about yourself.
I'll be like this. Be like, yo, buddy, pat stuff in the back, man. I'll be like, hey, good to know. Thumbs up. Just play the shit out and ignore them.
Yeah, you want some insecurity with that shallow ego. With that, you want some insecurity.
Fragile male ego, bro. Somebody wrote today. Somebody said something about that because, oh yeah, real quick, bro. There's a picture of the Wu-Tang guys of Method Man and Raekwon smoking a blunt in the 90s, and they're doing a gun. If anybody knows what a gun is, the smoke is there. It's when you smoke, you go like this, and then the smoke is somebody else's. It goes to their mouth, or in their nose, Somebody on a hip hop group's gonna say they look so gay to me and some weird shit. Somebody says, dude, you're so young. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is Method Man we're talking about. Raekwon. This is the Wu-Tang. There are no smoke. These guys are legends. You're the weird one, and you know what I mean. And here's what somebody said. Well, even if it is gay, so what? We live in a new, in a new era. So everybody can be what they want to be. And I was like, yeah, it's facts too. If they want to do that, first of all, it's not what you're thinking. It's just the dumbass young kids that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're putting anything backwards. And then somebody said that too. Somebody said like, yo, you seem like you have fragile egos. Like, why? Because I said that. It's like, yeah. It's like there's nothing, weird about it. Nothing stupid. Nothing awkward or gay. It's just the pictures caught, with them smoking a blunt, and you could see. He looks at her kissing, but he looks at them really close to each other. But if anybody can understand what's going on and knows has to have a brain, knows okay, this is nothing, crazy about this. It's just them smoking a blunt. It's sometime in the 90s. Guys, that dudes are smoking weed, used to always do that, bro. No, it's not weird, bro. It's not necessarily, a dude can give a dude a gun, just be careful, obviously, you don't want to pack lips or nothing like that, but if you do a certain way, there's no reason to think about it. Oh, it looks gay. Only insecure little fuck boys think about shit like that, bro. Little troll boys, little, ego-driven boys, little butthurt kids, that grow up to be idiots and fuck boys. Those guys know what the fuck they're talking about. Hoe ass niggas, that's what they are. But stupid ass ones at the end of the day. Hold on. Okay, cool. I was watching something here. But no, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, how could you really understand that? If you don't, just ask the question. But again, it's just a perversive world. First thing is, oh my god, it's so gay. Like that's all. I can't stand it either, dude. I'm not saying you gotta, how can I say it? Condone everything, agree with everything you see, and you can still have a stance and not agree with it, but still support or then support in the sense that like I accept it, not so much support it too much. But yeah, you can support. You know what? Let them do the thing. If that's support, then that's my support. They can have their will. I don't get into it too much because it's not my thing, but it's okay. Because I mean, for real, man, if you want to be really a good person in life, and man, God, you gotta pray, bro. God prays for everybody, bro. It don't matter if if you roll this way or this way. You know what I'm saying? Like the straight way, turn away. But here's the thing: people online can talk anything, they can talk crap, and they can hate anybody. There could be a picture of like a rapper celebrity. Oh, he looks so stupid. He looks like weird. Oh, Pete Davidson looks like a straight bitch. Well, you don't know Pete Davidson. Maybe maybe he's not, but it's not your place to say though, to judge him like that. And he's probably smashing more cute girls than you are. So, and he's got more money than you because he's a comedian. So that's your pathetic little ego, your little butt herself, your insecurities, whatever. Your all these you got cancel culture. We also have bullshit culture, bro. Because we talk like BS and people talk crap online all the time.
I never understood the fascination with people that say like they hate certain celebrities. It's like, how do you give somebody you've never met the power for you to have so much hatred towards them?
Or even like him so much? I mean, I understand the like, I get it because you like what they do.
But yeah, you might not like you might not like them or you might like them, but like at the end of the day, like
dislike is not hate, bro. See, that's
I
dislike is one thing.
It's like, man,
right. Hate is not dislike. You cannot like somebody. You might like somebody. It's cool because it's his opinion. But to hate, you're right, bro. How can you give them that much time to hate? If you actually hate a person like that, unless the person is really dirty, I mean, you gotta just know when.
Yeah.
It depends. It can get a little tricky, but yeah, I mean,
about that.
It could go either way, bro. Honestly, it could just be like you don't like them or you like them a lot. But that's the thing, like I told you earlier, people that idolize celebrities were to the point they're like worshiping them. You're not that smart of a person. You should not worship anything but just yourself. Be yourself, bro. Worship God if you subscribe to fear God. If you're believing God or not, it's a different story, But I mean, to worship like I seen it first in America, they're like legions of fans, like guys like this, like brainwashed, eye washed, spirit washed to the celebrities, to Tekashi 6ix9ine of all people. He was there. This is the year before he got caught up, like right before that. Those Snitchgate started, the floodgates of Snitchgates. So I mean, I was there. They're saying he got arrested. He's gonna be late. There were groups of people, like thousands. I don't know how many people there were in America. It was a lot of thousands, a couple thousand. And they were waiting for like people like Tekashi like that. Even J. Cole. I mean, I get it. J. Cole he's a dope artist, but still, I mean, not about worship. Just have appreciation. But that's why it can get confusing, and that's a whole other topic that we can kind of like touch base on or chime in next time. Talk about it. Maybe we can do a whole episode on this one about the fascination of celebrities. That'll be a dope ass subject, and he ties into our entertainment segment. He ties up what's going on in the world, and he's also good for the podcast. We can talk about that maybe down the line. You want to again sometime in the 70s, in those episode lists, 70s decade. It's gonna be a good one because next week is 69, so we're almost right there, bro. 60 to 68. We had a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a whole nother. So I was looking at
another ball game, bro. So yeah, so we can talk about that, but yeah, again, to kind of last but not least, bro, cancel culture is just a phenomenon of things of people their opinions. They don't want to cancel you and they go out their way to the power to put you down. But I mean, let's be real, bro. Cancel culture has always existed since the dawn of time, but it just wasn't cancel culture. It was pretty much, yo, Stephen George, I don't like those fuckers. I want you to go to, the newspaper, spread some bullshit, do a whole caricature. Caricatures, they're like a fake cartoon or something like that, where like it makes you look like a weirdo or something like that. Like they did, remember they did it on Rocky when they're like Apollo's gonna kill Rocky like a chicken, and have Apollo like this with Rocky like a chicken, he's gonna punch him. The shit like that, like they make things to make fun of you. Like, it could be anything. It could be like a joke, but it's public shaming. It's
exactly
online. Now we call online shaming, which by the way didn't really exist in the 90s like that. I mean, which also connects to cyberbullying. These are very good subjects for college material, for like, for classes that deal with kind of stuff. I mean, shit happens, but I mean, even the school shootings, a lot of times, people even being cyberbullied and ended up being school shooters, or they were literally physically bullied. Columbine was one of the first ones, but it wasn't the first one. And that was like when the internet was kind of like in its infancy. I mean, it existed for a couple, for a couple of years, but it was growing by the day. It wasn't like, I mean, what is now? Well, now it's like leaps and bounds. Back then it was growing, but they had what they had. It was you had Napster, you had American Online, you had something like, you could chit chat. Yo, I'm going to play football. Meet me there. Like a little, what do you call it? Like, you know how they do like in job forces? It comes down the bottom, like a little those chatting, devices. Like I forgot the name of it, but yeah, wasn't it? What was one of them? It wasn't American Online. Well, Messenger. That's what it was. A Messenger. So now we have actually Messenger, and actually we have like we could chat like through live stream. You can actually watch the person doing it. Back then we just had like, oh, Steve's there right now, and like I know where you live, and you're just writing me. It's happening in real time. I'm writing you, and bam, we'd meet up somewhere and meet up. Maybe even beepers. Like I mean, I was a little younger, so are you, but people had beepers before like 98, 99. Like in 95, they had beepers. Beepers went out of style around like 03 because cell phones got more prevalent, so beepers kind of like stay behind. Remember beepers, bro? They'll beep you and you actually go and pay for it and call somebody.
Oh yeah. It was like pagers, beepers, like all
pagers, beepers. They were kind of cool in the late 90s, early 2000s. But by 04, things are starting to change slowly, and beepers again went out of style around that time. These years really change and shape the way that digital marketing, digital media happens. But that's how we communicate. So yeah, cancel culture existed. It's just that it got more in depth, and now it's an actual thing now in like 2021, 2022. In February 2022, it's more alive than ever. They want to cancel everybody. Joe Rogan can't really be canceled, but plenty of guys that try to cancel them haven't canceled them. They try to cancel Eminem. They almost canceled the baby, and he had to retract some statements. But now, if we're talking about celebrities that got canceled versus those that haven't got canceled, it's some of them are closer than others, and some have done so much where they're hard to cancel. But they tried them though. I think they try to cancel just about anybody. I mean, they could cancel the president of America.
All it takes is like one little thing, and
one thing to go viral, to go crazy. There we are trying to cancel the president. They keep saying go Brandon. So, but
it's crazy.
no, I mean that's a thing, bro. I mean they want to cancel everybody, dude. Speaking of which, I gotta share. Mommy just shared this thing. I might share on our page. There's this thing, right? It's Photoshop of like the guy that I was hanging out with when I was down there, Meg Granahan, who does podcast, and he photoshopped this thing where he's like this. He's got a picture. He's at the gym, like shirt off, but he's like in the gym like this, and you can see Kamala Harris, the VP, looking like this, like like that. She's looking like that. And I was like, dude, how did you do it? I said, dude, I'm stealing this. Like, yo, do it. He said, please do it and just share it. I was like, I will. It's just funny as shit. And then somebody brought there, I tapped that. I was like, yo, y'all reckless. Y'all ruthless on comment sections. And that's the thing. Isn't that the thing also? Another thing that like regular guys like us that might watch, YouTube, they probably do podcasts or just know what's going on. They watch something online and they say something like that, like, yo, I'm here for the comment section, like the comments, yo, the internet got no chill. That's the famous tagline of the last decade and this decade. The internet's savage. The internet's savage. The internet's savage. These guys are the GOAT for saying something so savage. And that's just what happens, People want to see funny things. They don't see things that create controversy and fuckery a little bit and stupid funny shit. They want to see celebrities go ahead. They want to see a celebrity that they don't particularly like who's really over opinionated get clowned one time or people dragging them in the comment sections. So remember, the comment sections are the YouTube streets. They are the YouTube streets, and we are in the comment section. I mean, right now we comment on the right. See, my man, my good friend, my bro from another mother, Mary says, cancel George. He's dragging me in the comment section. That's what he's doing. In a funny way, he said, cancel George. No, George, you're too violent. You're too contradictory. So, that's how it goes, broski. But no, I mean, for real, we're going to have definitely some more episodes, even on these kind of things. Maybe not so much on cancel culture, but something similar. But if you look up, bro, I mean, again, I had some notes actually written down, but I mostly free flowed this and freestyle this because I knew a lot about it anyway. But cancel culture is like a new thing. It's like when people can get together, especially if they feel like you're part of a group, because of society enables these things to be a certain way. And if you're against, for example, like any kind of group, whether it is the Me Too movement, the BLM, the LBTGQ, thing, any of these movements, bro, you just, I mean, you might just be, you can be canceled only for expressing a very honest opinion that you're not into it. It could cause some kind of like riffles and raffles and people, because people want to hear you say some stuff. As a matter of fact, let's stick with Joe Rogan for a little. We got like a few minutes. We could go another like 5-10 minutes because I got to actually make a phone call. But Joe Rogan, they were saying that he was going to vote, not to get into the election thing, but they were saying, remember, they were asking, they're like, I feel like he's a Trump supporter. A lot of his viewers felt that way, but he knows he wouldn't get a lot of viewers to fuck with him if he flat out say he supports Trump or if he voted. He said he's going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Maybe that's what he votes for. But there was a theory. I don't know if you heard about it. That low-key Joe Rogan is probably a Trump supporter, or people felt like he really was. I think it was kind of neutral on his stance on Trump. But people don't want to ask. It's like they want to know, well, who you vote for? It's like they're just like right behind you. Whoa, Joe. Who did you vote for? And they're like on your face like this, like. Whoa, relax. Like, I don't thought people I voted for. First of all, I don't do that mistake, bro. My boy put me onto that many years ago. I might lie to somebody, tell them I voted for this guy, but I voted for the other guy sometimes, just because they don't need to know who I voted for, bro. I tell people when I see them, I don't need to know, put it out there. Not everybody needs to know who I voted for. People that I'm hanging out with don't need to know other people do business. They got nothing to do with business. Girls I dated don't need to know who I voted for. It's that simple. It's my business, and I'll keep it that way. I'm old school, bro. In my mind, I'm still in the 90s, bro. I'm a little old school, but I'm old school, but yet new school for obvious reasons. That's just what I am. I'm new school. I'm current like a motherfucker, but I'm also old school things. I'm not gonna change my mind or my ways because people think that you gotta be this way. Because a few people say that, and you gotta accept cancel culture. No, I don't want to accept cancel culture. If somebody needs to be canceled, you'll get canceled before that, bro. It was a lot of things going on before cancel culture. The whole idea is pretty dumb. I mean, I get it. Sometimes some people need to be criticized and I guess low-key canceled, more like tried. Get it? They're tried by the people. They're tried by the court. Cancel culture is the court. As long as I'm, as far as I see it, that's just what it seems like. They can say what they want to say. He could be the best guy in the world. Once one mistake, it's over. It's a wrap. They try to cancel Dave Chappelle because the show he made. Like he said, the baby shot killed some dude in North Carolina, self-defense. Nobody said a thing about that. He said one small comment, boom, the world goes after him. It's ridiculous. They take him off the radar. They take him off special shows and this and that. I'm not saying that the baby was wrong or right. I mean, he could have, not say those things or said a little differently in a way they're like, okay, he's for everybody. But of course, the sensitive ones, the ratings, but they got to see it. The censorship, they want to censor him, they want to cancel him, they want to destroy everything he built. And I mean, they're talking about taking his verse of the Dua Lipa song, Levitate. That's fucking bullshit. Plenty of DJs are still playing that version. I mean, the baby made that song, and I like Dua Lipa. She's one of the hottest artists right now. But the song with her by itself was okay. Don't the baby made a more crossover mix because he's got the baby, got her. It's a hell of a song. The original is good too, but I'm just saying all that, and I'm pretty sure it was the people around her told her, "Yo, delete that song with the baby. Don't work on it because he said this." And come on, man, he's an artist, good artist. Sometimes artists do, but you're really gonna cancel art. You can't cancel art, bro. Simple as I don't cancel art. I don't care what an entertainer's done, and I'm not gonna mention names, but what I'm talking about. I don't like the dude, but guess what? I'm gonna still play songs, bro. I said it, bro. I don't care people feel because people still listen to these songs when they do, bro. They just do not admit it because of the charges he had. You know what I mean? Which is why in jail right now. Think
exactly.
Ignition. You know what I'm talking about? Ignition, yeah.
Ignition.
A certain Mr. Somebody, bro. A certain Mr. Somebody. I don't want to say his name right now, but
I know exactly who.
I like the art. I'm not gonna lie. I still like him. I still like these old stuff, but
yeah,
he's done. I mean, he's over. His career is over pretty much. I mean, maybe not over, but he's just totally. I mean, he can live off the old stuff, but he's in jail for a while. He fucked up, but. To tell me, don't play the song because yeah, he's a fucking idiot, but I'm gonna play the song. Nothing to do with who he is. I mean, I'm just being real here, I might take a break for songs, here and there, but
Oh, yes, sir.
And by the way, real quick, time out before we move on and all. How come no one talks about certain rappers, all these people here, all these contradicted people? When Young Dolph died, a certain somebody talk crap about him. What's up with these rappers talk shit about people when they die? That's fucked up.
I don't know, man.
They're gonna die. How about that? Black youngster, motherfuck you, kid. How about that? I'm gonna say right now here. Black youngster, motherfuck you, kid. Talking shit about Young Dolph like that after he died. Go kill yourself, pussy. I don't like Black youngster. I always thought he's a pussy anyway.
On that note, yeah, dude, I can't believe we're like an hour and a half in, but on that note, man, I think we about to wrap up shortly.
We got 5 minutes. I gotta go probably more than you. I'm actually in a very big hurry, but we got 5 minutes, bro. Let's not, chop up the episode because again, I want to cancel us. We had a good episode, bro. We did what we did, man. I mean, it's what it is. Cancel culture is real. You just got to stay away from it. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, like we could talk about it all day. It's like at the end of the day, it's just
at the end of the day, bro, just can't
phenomenon that we're facing, but yeah, it's just what we're dealing with. It's in front of us right now.
Sure is, bro. Sure is. I don't think nothing can really change it. We can just get better with it, You live and you learn, man. You live and you learn. But so we covered a good amount of the Joe Rogan podcast. I think we can kind of wrap it up soon. Did you want me to ask you any question about my trip a little more? To cover a little more than that, because I do got a lot of announcements, but I can't do them all right now. But basically, I had a good trip out there, bro. I did a podcast. I'm not sure when. I know it's gonna come out. Like my episode is only like 30 minutes, maybe, but it was a productive, good episode that we did, and I talked about my career a little bit when I started, a little bit as far as like the fighting thing and all that. They asked me why I want to do this and what I was in it for me and all that. So we talked about that. Bob did his. Bob did he spilled a lot of beans, bro. He had a lot of information on the UFC. So I don't know. They might want to cancel. They're not going to cancel that podcast, but Dana White got a lot of power. He might cancel us. He might cancel me. I don't know, because we did it like we promoted it like as if me and Bob are going to compete against each other. We are, by the way. We're going to fight. I just don't know if it's going to be an MMA fight in Pancrase, some kind of small promotion, or possibly a pro wrestling type of match, or like a real pro wrestling match with real strikes and all that, and nothing really held back. So we might do one of those things, like we might do a regular traditional pro wrestling match, what you consider a legit pro wrestling match, or something called a real pro wrestling. It might be Pancrase or MMA. It might just be a grappling match, probably like some kind of like mixed fight. We might be doing it because I'm supposed to be fighting in New York and in Cali, more than likely, Murrieta, California, and then after that, we'll see where everything kind of goes with that. Been a lot of changes. The opponent changed for me, so that's what we did out there. We were in Florida. We did that. We met some executives and we met some big hitters out there, bro. And obviously, some heavy hitters, but obviously Bob Carson knows all those guys there. I know a lot of them as well before, and now I know them more. And I met some guys. I met some stylists. I met some guys that social media influencers. We met this girl, Victoria. Victoria, I think, is a Vash. I think she's got like 60,000 followers, and she's like a young lawyer in the making and all that. She just finished law school, but she's a very attractive girl too, by the way. But also does she's like an influencer source, so talks on social media. Already has her TikTok and her channel already popping, as is our G. So she came right after me. She did the episode after me, and yeah, they do like maybe like 5 podcasts there within like one day, within maybe like a 3-4 hour mark, 4 hour maybe. But each episode is literally 30 to 40 minutes tops. So they don't go maybe 35 minutes. Like mine was about 24 minutes, because it wasn't super big. It was like an interview type of show, and they started there the way they do with the mics and all, bro. Very very informative. He helped me clear a few things and understand how things work, so we can actually even better our podcast. And to be safe, we're gonna have some of the guys on our podcast. I met this one girl down there, bro. Boca Raton. She does her own business. She's gonna come in the podcast. Remember I told you about that. Of course, Bob will come back, and some people from the firm. So shout out to the Berman firm in Florida. I mean, they're big in Southern Florida. Got companies everywhere. I could have worn the hat. I didn't wear the hat, but I wear it next time. I promote them. I wear the hat because they give me a free hat after doing the podcast. Yeah, I'm gonna try to maybe what I'll do, bro. I'm gonna actually try to post one of them on our page. We'll do pictures like on our group page, maybe. But also the page, we gotta get more likes on our actual page because we got 2 group pages and a page on Facebook, and we have the IG. So I might, we gotta do some more snippets from our episodes, and I can actually post parts of that one because Bob actually was able to film a couple. But don't worry, it's gonna be on TV. It's gonna be on a special channel and a special YouTube channel called Hannibal TV. So they will air my episode and Bob's because they were like back to back. Well, a couple of episodes were. They got one of Bob from like a while ago too. Some of them were done. Like a couple are done on the same day. Some are done in different days, obviously. So it's just how it goes,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, man. But me and you gotta definitely take a trip to Florida.
Awesome stuff, man. I'm glad you had a good time out there.
Ultimately, man. We definitely do. Back to Florida sometime. And
yeah, man.
Maybe you and Miami.
Well, Miami's Florida,
a must,
South
bro.
Beach,
yeah,
Orlando, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale. It's beautiful, man. Florida just in general is a beautiful
St. Augustine, Jacksonville is nice, even though it's a little more north. Everything's amazing out there, bro. It's so much to gain out there to go, just to travel. You explore your mind more, but when you stay still, it's like the same place. I don't know. I'm not guys who don't travel all the time, but
True.
There we go.
Shout out to Florida.
Yeah, shout out to Florida, state of Florida. Florida was a great state for me, bro. Yeah, man, definitely. But yeah, I think we covered a nice amount. Anything else you want to add?
Not really, man. I think we went long, but we can.
We went really long.
Yeah, we can kind of wrap up there, guys. If you have any comments, you're watching this afterwards. We appreciate the feedback throughout this podcast and this episode. As always, next week we'll be back for episode 69. 69. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, we'll be back for episode 69. 69 next week.
69.
And 69. But we'll be back next week for that. Appreciate the feedback throughout. Guys, if any of you guys are watching, I know sometimes we get feedback after because people will watch us after the live stream. If you're watching this after, comment on the YouTube channel, Facebook, whatever your thoughts and feedback if you have any. Appreciate you guys. I think with that being said, we can wrap up there for this episode.
I think
Right
we've
with
done
that.
enough, man. We had a pretty good episode. We mentioned what we to mention. I mean, again, censorship in these things, guys. We're gonna probably do another one more than likely, and have some other people to bring some perspectives. It's a very tough, touchy topic episode. It's a very hard thing to come along, and to explain because there's a lot of factors and decisive factors. Even the Jorgen thing we just talked about. I mean, so many different things. I mean, do you blame him or him for being the guest? You can't control the guests say sometimes in the podcast, and then it seems like they're spreading hate or garbage or BS, but just went that way. So obviously now he's suffering a little bit. But knowing Joe Rogan, he'd be okay. Trust me. Don't worry, Joe Rogan. He's got millions of subscribers. He makes money. He's a millionaire. He's a very rich guy. He's good, But shout out to the Joe Rogan, podcast. And I mean, again, I watch it pretty consistently when I can and try to understand things that you might learn things there. But I mean, of course, every episode, everybody gonna bring. Sometimes you gotta fact check things. Some things like you can say something today that's a fact now, and tomorrow it's not a fact anymore. It's changed. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's for the time it was there. There's always new discoveries and all that. So let's not jump the gun. But at the same time, if there's misinformation, let's clear the air, and you know what I mean. And that's just what I can say for cancel culture and all that other crap. I mean, you're gonna cancel Joe Rogan or other guys like there, or Black Youngster or the baby, because people make mistakes, but they can learn. But a warning, you gotta always know that like, yo, you can't be canceled. That it's very rough out there, and the world works how it works. I mean, so just don't get in trouble, basically. Shout out, lay away from the controversial things. But controversial topics will always bring some kind of, I guess, back and forth. You always bring something up, bro, and things. You'll birth controversy, comments. People don't cancel you, opinions, and so forth. I mean, people are definitely gonna, say what they want to say because not everybody's gonna agree with everything you say, even if it's the truth. Plenty of dudes hate the truth.
Exactly.
Well, all right, guys. I think we're going to wrap up there with those final closing thoughts there, guys. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching us on Facebook, still smash the like button. It's good for the algorithm. I think we can wrap up there, man. I will
make sure you guys follow us on IG and on Facebook and all that stuff, and be on the lookout. I will be posting some stuff. We obviously do like the quarter of the week when we can here and there. We do some stuff like we'll post some stuff down there. Probably post some stuff from Florida and definitely part of the podcast I did. Also, be on the lookout for some big moves, guys. And me and Steve have talked behind closed doors and behind the scenes. But there's definitely some new episodes coming up, and there's a couple things that we're gonna be showing you guys. You know what I mean? So there's probably some new guests. Always ways to improve the podcast, and we're doing good, but we can never really stay still because when you're doing good and you always stay still, as you stay still, you gotta evolve and move. And we're glad to kind of bring you guys the stuff. You can watch from YouTube or live stream on Facebook and comment. The feedbacks have been great, so we appreciate you guys watching. Like I always say, reach out to me and Steve if you have an idea or something you want to hear. We could definitely try to accommodate you guys as much as we can. And also, let me say this before I almost forgot. People actually reacted and commented on my story on IG as well as on Facebook a little, like, people those that know me, that, they know that they hit me up on there. They know that we're talking about this topic. And guess what? They thanked me, said good stuff. We want to hear that. So I got a couple of reactions right there. So we gotta mention that. I'm not gonna say who, but I got about 3 or 4 people either between IG or Facebook or even Twitter saying that, like, because they heard, word got back to, like, sort of promo and everything that we're gonna talk about the Drogon thing, the cancel culture. They're like, thumbs up, yo, they love this. Say, yo, thank you guys, because people want to hear about other people talk about what's going on. That's the thing, people in minorities, they never talk about it, but we gotta shed some light. So actually, people are appreciative about us taking the time, this hour and a half, whatever hour, and talk about a topic that most people want to sweep under the floor, don't want to talk about because they feel they're scared or censorship and all that stuff. So, So for you guys that are watching and hit us up, don't worry, we have plenty more episodes on this. But as always, we're going to be bringing it we're going to tread very lightly. We cannot, do too much because, I mean, obviously, we don't want to say the wrong words, curse too much. We don't want to, you know what I'm saying, humiliate somebody. I said what I said about that person because, he dissed the dead, so I'm going to say that. I'm not playing with that. But other than that, no, we don't, we don't really, it's not about bringing hate here. It's about, it's our perspective. Yeah, it's an opinion, but our opinions are based on the facts, and we're really not biased at all. So, I mean, trying to, and if you think it's biased, not for you, remember, just don't like the button, then just skip away if that's how you feel, Other than that, like, share, subscribe. It's like you said, Steve, smash the like and the bell button, notifications and all that. But also comment, guys, and like it because he actually does kind of like help with the algorithm. So yeah.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, have a great night, guys. Have a good weekend. George, I'm sure I'll talk to you over the next couple of days. But, guys, appreciate your time. Appreciate life. Be true and be you.
Be true and be you, guys. Do your thing, man. Always be the best. And don't worry about the rest, guys. Stay up.
Good night, guys.
New year, so we got to do our thing. All right. We love everybody watching us, and have a safe night, and have a great early weekend.
Take care.
All right.